Welcome to Weekly Digest, where we highlight the work of ministers of government as they push the administration's development agenda, picking up from where we left off last week. Guyana's COVID-19 vaccination campaign has been boosted with the arrival of 84,800 doses of the AstraZeneca vaccine from the United Kingdom. Minister of Health, Dr. Frank Anthony, expressed government's gratitude for the donation. The process to acquire a birth certificate is now easier with the passage of the Registration of Births and Deaths Amendment Bill 2021 in the National Assembly on Tuesday. Minister of Home Affairs Robeson Ben says there are many instances of persons facing challenges in acquiring their birth certificate, especially in the hinterland.
Sometimes the process and the system works against people in the interior communities, particularly people who we have to acknowledge are the first people of Guyana, and who, by every means necessary, should obtain a birth certificate.
Attorney General and Minister of Legal Affairs Senior Counsel Mohamed Anil Nandlal says the amendment to the bill is government satisfying its duties on the treaties the country has signed on to at the level of the United Nations. Meanwhile, the adoption of Children Amendment Bill 2021 has been passed in the National Assembly. Before its passage, Minister of Human Services and Social Security Dr. Vindhya Prasad said the amendment will help to avoid legal and administrative conflicts in adoptions.
The amendment of this bill will allow the establishment of common practice and procedures that will harmonize the individualized regime which governs our country's inter-country adoption with other countries that are party to the Hague Convention.
The minister said the bill provides for the safeguards which protect the child's parents' information and the provision of a thorough evaluation of the prospective adoptive parents. Minister of Agriculture Zulfikar Mustafa says the agro-processing facility to be constructed in Blackbush Polder will allow farmers to get real value for their produce and will create approximately 50 to 60 jobs in the area. Minister Mustafa made this statement while signing a memorandum of understanding with Umami Incorporated on Tuesday.
This facility will help the farmers in Blackbush Polder to process their produce and at the same time create more jobs for the citizens in Blackbush Polder.
Minister Mustafa says the government will ensure necessary facilities are built for agro-processing. He noted that the ministry has already embarked on approximately 7 small agro-processing facilities across the country. Minister Anthony says the Health Ministry is currently investigating the issue of forged COVID-19 vaccination booklets. On Wednesday, the minister said there will be swift penalties for people who are found doing so.
We have had some reports that there are people who are selling the cards, and there are people who are unvaccinated who are buying the cards. So I just want to remind the general public that in Section 240 of our criminal law, or Criminal Offences Act, Chapter 801, forgery is an offense, and you can be prosecuted for forgery. And the fine, if you're found guilty of forgery, would be up to 3 years imprisonment. And if you forge a vaccination card, then you'll be liable to this type of punishment if caught. So I want to encourage people to desist from such practices, because when we catch you, you are going to feel the full brunt of the law.
Over 3,000 residents of Camarang and Jawala Region 7 will soon have access to potable water with the construction of 2 wells in the respective villages. Minister of Housing and Water Colin Crowell on Wednesday handed over copies of contracts valued $39.9 million and $42 million respectively to Tushaus for accountability. The minister told residents that the delivery of safe water to communities is a priority of the PPPC government.
It does not matter where you reside. We have a commitment to you, the villagers. We have a commitment to the people of Guyana. We have a commitment as part of our Sustainable Development Goal, or they call it SDG 6, which means to ensure that all our population has access to potable water. We are committing to do all of this and meeting that target by the time our first term in office is complete in 2025.
The minister said government is working to improve the Guyana Water Incorporated's coverage in hinterland communities. Minister of Public Works Bishop Juan Edgell on Wednesday facilitated the signing of $3 million contracts for the modernization of the Cheddi Jagan International Airport. Minister Edgell says the work must stay within the project's cost and time frame.
We don't sign contracts and sleep. I expect tomorrow morning, work begins. This is the airport. We got to work within a context of a functioning airport. And we can't be on this project forever. Because once you're working on Runway Charlie, you are going to be in the way somewhere along the line of what is happening there.
The contracts signed include the construction of a $513 million office building, which will be built adjoining the existing terminal building. Another $38 million was awarded for repairs to the International Apron and the construction of a taxiway. Students in Monkey Mountain and surrounding communities in Region 8 would now be transported to school in a $7 million truck, which was recently purchased for the community. The procurement of the truck was made possible through the $10 million one-off COVID-19 relief grant to the community. Minister of Amerindian Affairs Pauline Sukai said the government remains committed to providing the nation's children with access to education.
They told me that they have close to 100 or just about 100 children that leaves from this point. I think they may have been including Taruka and Tusaning children. And so our advice was that we were going to provide a truck for the area because of the terrain. That truck, in this period when school open, should be used to transport the children at least part of the way.
The minister also handed over sport gear and equipment to keep the village's youth engaged. Also on Wednesday, Minister Mustafa held a meeting with farmers and residents of Enterprise and neighboring communities on the east coast of Demerara. The meeting was held with the aim of allowing residents to share their concerns and challenges they face within their own communities. Among the issues raised were the reopening of the Enmore estate, lack of employment opportunities, effects of recent rainfall on crops and livestock, the need for the allocation of farmlands, and drainage and irrigation. Minister Mustafa noted government's commitment to reopening the estates through a phased process. He said this will positively impact the communities through the creation of employment.
The government is seriously committed to reopen these closed sugar estates. That's a commitment that we have made in the campaign. That's a commitment we have made when we were in opposition. And I want to reiterate that point here, that we will reopen the closed sugar estate again.
The Ministry of Health, COVID-19 Task Force, and other key stakeholders have begun discussions on the possibility of an electronic COVID-19 vaccination card for easier access to information. Minister Anthony on Thursday noted that this will not be done overnight.
We have been discussing it, and we'll see how, if that's possible, because it would entail a number of things. One, the persons who already have received their cards, how do we then get this new card to them, and a whole host of other logistical issues would come up. But it's something that we're thinking about to make the card more portable.
In the meantime, Minister Anthony is urging vaccinated persons to keep their current vaccination cards safe, as they are now mandatory to transact some types of businesses as well as for overseas travel. The minister also advised against laminating and reducing the card size. Approximately $164 million has been allocated for the construction of core homes and home improvement subsidies in La Parfait Harmony West Bank, Demerara. The contract signing took place at the Ministry of Housing and Water's boardroom on Friday. Minister Colin Crowell said the bidding process was a competitive one.
This project is probably one of the projects I think we need to speak a little more on, and that is the Adequate Housing and Urban Accessibility Program. One of the first things we did was to reformulate, or we received approval for the expanded boundaries for the beneficiaries.
The program will see the construction of 25 core homes at a cost of $4 million per home. Each home is designed to meet basic living standards, consisting of no less than 330 square feet. Additionally, some 118 persons will benefit from the $500,000 home improvement subsidy in the form of building materials. The Adequate Housing and Urban Accessibility Program is funded by the Inter-American Development Bank. Also on Friday, Minister within the Ministry of Public Works, Deodat Indar, commissioned several roads in Industry and Riselust, East Coast, Demerara, much to the satisfaction of residents. 1st, 6th, 9th, and Market Streets in Industry have been commissioned. R&B Investments Incorporated completed the 892 meters of road for the sum of $41.6 million. Minister Indar also opened Middle Street Riselust to traffic. The $13.7 million contract was also executed by R&B Investments Incorporated. Meanwhile, Minister Indar has urged residents of both communities to be vigilant and prevent persons from damaging the roads.
This road is the community's road. The people of this community, this is your road. If anybody is to park a truck or move a machine that digs it up and destroys it, you must stop them. You must stop them because they're destroying the road that you guys paid for. This is taxpayers' money. And we cannot allow persons to break new infrastructure that we put up.
Government is currently working to construct 650 roads in regions 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 10. Minister within the Office of the Prime Minister with responsibility for public affairs, Kwame McCoy, on Friday launched the Because We Care Cash Grant initiative at the Dora Secondary School at Kurukururu, Susdike, Linden Highway. Minister McCoy told parents and guardians that the government is determined to keep promises it has made. He said the administration cherishes its integrity. He added that an investment made in the nation's children augurs well for the future.
This is the type of investment that will harbor no regret. No regret, because at the end of the day, we have to, at the best of our skills and our ability, do everything possible to help our children.
At St. Cuthbert's Mission, Minister of Natural Resources Vikram Bharat told parents government is a partner in the development of their children as he rolled out the program in that community.
We want you to see the government as a partner in the development of your communities. That is what we want to see, because that is the hand that we're extending to every single community across the country.
Education Minister Priya Manikchand, who led the exercise at the Swami Purnananda Primary School, emphasized that government's injection of $1.4 billion in cash grants will ensure education success.
I know most parents in this country understand that the only way to guarantee your children a bright future is through education. There's some shortcuts. You might win the lotto. Very rare. But the only way to be sure that your children are on the right path, that they could look after themselves and the children they will make and not have struggles, is through an education. Nobody could take that away from you. Governments come and governments go. Jobs come and jobs go. Spouses come and spouses go. The one thing that does not go when you have it is your qualifications, is your education.
Parents welcomed the initiative and commended the government for delivering on its promise to the people. That's it for this edition of Weekly Digest. For these and other government-related information, do log on to our website, dpi.gov.gy, and our social media platforms as well. Goodbye.